Alrighty, today's lesson is all about the distributive property. A lot of these strategies are going to seem kind of similar to you because they're asking you to do some of the same things, but here's another way of looking at it. So when you distribute something, it means you have a large pile of something and you're splitting it up into different groups, okay? Our first question says, Chef Cora hard boils 6 dozen eggs each day to make egg salad for sandwiches in the food court. How many eggs does she hard boil each day? So what information we're going to need to know is that eggs come, a dozen is 12 eggs, and she does 6 dozen of those each day. So we're going to be finding 6 times 12. One of the methods for doing this is using the distributive property. So again, it's these boxes that we've worked with before. I always write that too close. Let me move this one over a little bit. Put it over here on the side. 6 times 12. So we're going to be decomposing one of these numbers. The 6 can stay where it is because 6s are pretty easy to multiply by, but we're going to decompose the number 12 into its 10s and its 1s. So we're going to take the number 12 and we're going to change it into a 10 and a 2. So we're looking at the 10s from that number and the 1s from that number. Then this is just like an array where we're going to be multiplying inside these boxes. So inside this box we would be doing 6 times 10 because here's the length and the width. And inside this box would be 6 times 2. What it's asking you to do underneath was for us to think about 6 times 12 being the same thing as 6 times 10 plus 6 times 2. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and write that in the blanks underneath, and I've gone ahead and done that for you. It's these blanks right here. And we're going to go ahead and finish out this problem. So remembering that in order of operations, you always want to do the parentheses first, right? Order of operations is PEMDAS, and that stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So in this particular math problem, we have sets of parentheses. So what we want to do is do what's in the parentheses first and then move on with our problem. So we're going to go ahead and do 6 times 10, which is 60. And we're going to do 6 times 2, which is 12. And when we go ahead and add those together, we get 72. So 72 is the number of eggs that Chef Cora hard boils each day to make her salads. So you'll be able to fill in those answers there. So again, it's figuring out this box, and adding them together. That's exactly what this part does here. All right, let's do some from the back. So we have a vocabulary word here, a key concept. It says distributive property. And what that says is that you can multiply the addends of a number and then add the products. So that's exactly what we're doing. We're multiplying the addends and we're adding the products or the answer to a multiplication problem. So example 2 says 27 students are attending a performance at a children's theater. Each admission ticket is $5. What is the total cost for 27 students? So they're going to be using a little bit of algebra here, and we're going to use a variable, okay? So what it says here is to let C represent the total, okay? So we're going to give ourselves some room to work here. I'm going to take a look at that problem. So they're saying C is the total that they're going to pay. C for cost, I believe. So the cost is something times 5. Well, remember, in our original problem, it said that there were 27 students that they were attending, and each ticket would cost $5. So we're going to go ahead and put a 27 in that box, because to find the total cost, we'll need to do 27 times 5, because there are 27 students, and each ticket is $5 each. So we're going to go ahead and find that. And on your paper, they have it all set up for you. They say find 27 times 5. And they went ahead and used the distributive property to help us out here. So they did 27 times 5 is the same thing as 20 times 5 and 7 times 5. Now what they did was they broke down this number, right? They decomposed it. They used the 10s and the 1s. See how in 27 it's 20 and 7? Okay? That would be the same thing if we had the box like this and we had our 5 on the side, and we had the 20 here and the 7 here, right? Inside this box, we would have 20 times 5, and this side would be 7 times 5, right? So we've got that information just distributed this way. So we're going to go ahead and solve that problem. So we know that we have to do our parentheses first. Oh, I forgot a plus sign in the middle here. I better add that in. Remember, we have to add in those products, right? So we're going to go ahead and start here. 20 times 5 is 100. 7 times 5 is 35. And when you add those together, you get 135. So it will cost $135 for 27 students to go to the show. So if we were going back to our original problem, 27 times 5 was the math that we did to find the total cost. This is the total cost, so we could say C is equal to 135. That's the total cost for 27 students. And we'll be able to fill in those blanks here with that information. At the bottom, we've got 2 more problems that they want us to use the distributive property on. So let's go ahead and do that. The first one says 12 times 9. Okay, I think I'm going to switch colors here because this one's getting a little dry. So let's switch up colors so you can see what I'm doing here. We're doing 12 times 9. So we're going to go ahead and set that up in to box form. Remember how we did partial products before? So our 9's going to go on the side, and we're going to decompose the 12 into a 10 and a 2. Then we can do the multiplication in here and get our answers for that. So this box, almost like the shape of an array, we're finding the area of this box. So it's 9 times 10, and 9 times 10 is 90. And this box is going to be 9 times 2, which is 18. And then we have to add those totals, right? So 90 plus 18 is 108. All right, so we've got our answer to that one. The next problem they're asking us to practice with is 22 times 6. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to draw our box. The single digit can always go on the side. I find that's easier in my brain. And then we're going to decompose 22 into 20 and 2. And then we're going to go ahead in there and do our multiplication. This would be 6 times 20. This would be 6 times 2. And when we do 6 times 20, we can do our base problem first. So 6 times 2 is 12. There's 1 0 here, so we add 1 0 to our answer. So 6 times 20 is 120. 6 times 2 is 12, and we need to add our products. So when we do that, we get 132. So it's pretty easy to set up, pretty easy to follow. If you have any questions, you can always email me at mvaw123@gmail.com, or Class Dojo also works. Thanks.